age of menopause, it always gets irregular bleeding.
You know, that may be true. For me, it wasn't. And I think like that's where things get tricky is when are you experiencing traditional, like, you know, change of life symptoms, and when is something actually wrong with you? And I think that it depends on, you know, your family history, and, you know, ideally it depends on your genetic profile, right? So the irregular bleeding is normally referring not to the irregular bleeding that happens, quote unquote, you know, as menopause begins. That's the difference, right? So, you know, people have irregular bleeding when they're, from the time they have their period, right? They're just people who have irregular bleeding. That would be a clue that maybe there's something going on. But, you know, again, a lot of physicians are going to treat irregular bleeding associated with the change of life, right? Because now they're, you know, because I had to look it up all those years ago. Perimenopause is a thing that I still don't believe in. This friend of mine who is a doctor, I asked her to come here so she could yell at me. Perimenopause is actually a thing, but, you know, I again, am all about precision. So menopause is a blood level. It's not 12 months I haven't had a period. It's a blood level, right? So like I went into menopause on my first chemo. They tested me 2 weeks later, I'm done, right? Then they tried to see if I would repair myself, right? And if it would ever come back. It didn't. But menopause is a blood level, right? And the rest of it are, you know, symptoms, things that might happen. But doctors are going to treat this mostly with either a supplement or a cream or a pharmaceutical intervention. And my point is that get the gene test before you allow any of that to happen, so you know if you can safely process the estrogen. Yeah.
Right. So if your OBGYN is telling you, okay, you've had an IUD with hormone in it through your, you know, reproductive years, and she's telling you you should stay with that, your recommendation would be get the estrogen gene testing now to see if that is a good strategy or not.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like, that's actually where the title of my book is coming from. The drugs are like, we are given like drugs to manage our entire fertility life cycle. And, you know, the way I think about it, estrogen metabolism gene system is first and foremost as like a pharmacogenomic test. Like, yeah, can I safely be doing this? You know. Now, I don't know anything about IUDs. I have no idea what the hormone levels are, but you know.
There's hormones. I mean, they're hormones.
Right.